On this show, we cover some sensitive topics.
Though the obituaries may be outlandish, the people are real.
Names have been changed or omitted in order to respect both the deceased and the survived by.
While death is no laughing matter, some petty last words can provide some pretty entertaining comic relief.
Welcome to Obituary. Welcome back to Obituary. I'm Jeff.
And I'm Geoff.
And we're here to tell you everything.
Yes, we are. Everything that you wanted to know, we've got you covered.
What are the chances you happen to tune into a podcast with two hosts who know everything?
Oh my God, you just hit the jackpot.
I have to start us off this week with, I saw this little thing. It was just like a little blurb on the internet somewhere, and it said, my husband's dying wish was to make people think he led a double life.
Ooh.
We had 3 blacked out Land Rovers follow the cortege, and actors in suits and trench coats observe the funeral from a distance. He was a bank manager for TSB, and to this day, we haven't told anyone the truth.
Oh, I love that.
You know we love a little mystery, and our problem is, well, especially me, like I can never just shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like I'm posting on Instagram, I'm talking on stories.
Oh, he's on Threads.
Oh, he's got 37 fucking podcasts. And I just can't stop talking ever, but I want to be mysterious so bad. I think there's a lot I don't talk about.
Yeah, there is a lot you don't talk about.
There's a whole other side to me. I'm two-faced, okay?
No, there's not a whole other side to you, but there's things that aren't meant for the public.
Yes. Private browser.
Oh, speaking of, I should probably start to use a private browser because I think my computer has a virus.
This is 2006? What do you mean your computer? From adult entertainment?
Honey, all I've got to say is that a pop-up for ChatterBait comes on every time I try to search something. And I don't even know what it is, but it's not friendly.
So Madison doesn't have an other side. Okay. You're getting the full. You get the full show.
Honey, this is what you get.
You get what you get. That's our motto. That should be our podcast tagline. Obituary. You get what you get.
Okay? It's true. You're going to hear us yak. You're going to hear us
yuck.
And you're going to hear us
yo. Because we are your number one
I'm always
resource.
On a diet.
She is yo-yoing. Oh my God. Wait, also, I have a lot of fun facts for today's episode.
Okay.
Did you know that in Australia, instead of saying R.I.P., they say veil?
Really?
Yeah, apparently like when a celebrity dies, they would be like, who's someone who died? Give me a name. Bob Hope.
Olivia Newton-John.
Not Olivia Newton-John. Her when she starred in The Godfather. She's the Dawn.
Her when she fakes her death, too.
Yeah. No, that's Olivia Newton-John.
Oh, girl. And when she grows her hair out, Olivia Newton-Long, honey.
Oh, yes.
And when she goes through her stoner era, Olivia Newton-Bong.
Oh, Olivia Newton-Bong. God, that's enough of that. Okay, so anyway, I found this article on The Guardian that says, when dad died, language was my therapy. This is by Gary Nunn. And it says, veil is Latin in its origin. It's an alternative to rest in peace because veil in Latin means goodbye or farewell.
Wow. Okay, so you would say like veil Spencer Henry.
Not for a long time, but yes, you would.
Okay. All
right. Those are my interesting tidbits to share. I haven't done a ton of stuff this week. I haven't.
Well, you did come to my house a ton.
Wait. Actually, I told Madison, I think her neighbors think we're having an affair because every time Cisco leaves home.
Yeah, he was away on business this week. No, not on business.
No, he was looking at you.
What?
Like, why are you lying? Why did you just lie to them?
I don't know why I said that.
He was visiting his family.
I know.
Okay, so Cisco was visiting his family or on business, however you want to say it. And I was home and it was like Friday night and I called you.
And Thursday night.
Oh, yeah. We got done recording on Thursday. And because he was gone, Madison doesn't like to leave the dogs. And so she's like, I got to go home after we record. I'm like, cool. So instead of doing our normal routine after we record, she went home. But then I called her like an hour later. And I was like, so can I come over? And then like a night or two later, I'm like,
The next night.
Was it the next day?
Yeah.
I called her and I said, hey, can I come over? But I feel like it was twice in a row, which is so funny because I feel like we're always here because we record here and da da da. But I hadn't been to your house in months.
I know.
And so I went over and
We watched Grey Gardens.
we watched Great Gardens and then we watched Tan Mom.
Oh.
Madison and I have a lifelong obsession with Tan Mom. If you're not familiar, she is Patricia Krenzel. She is.
She follow you on Twitter?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Well, I deleted my Twitter. I deleted Twitter. I deleted my TikTok app. You know, time suck.
Yeah.
But anyway, we're obsessed with her. She's the mom who got in trouble for allegedly tanning her daughter, which she did not do.
She didn't do. She tanned herself.
Yes.
And that is wild.
Yes, she is very tan. So tan. And anyway, apparently she had a TV show.
Okay, so we thought it was going to be like a reality TV show, but it was on Tubi and it was like a podcast, but they videoed it.
Podcast, get real. Everybody has a podcast. On Saturday and Sunday, this is not related to anything, but I binge watched Nashville.
You sure did.
Trying to get Madison on board. Okay, so here's the thing. It's like a cheesy soap opera-ish. Like, I love it. I love it so much. But it's based in Nashville, and it's about, like, country stars and drama and stuff. Mm-hmm. I just fucking love it because there's something very nostalgic about that era of television because it came out in, like I think 2012, maybe,
okay,
2018.
Good TV. Good TV.
Good TV came out during those years. They don't make them like they used to.
Well, now everything's on streaming, which is great too. But honey, I didn't like commercials, but set your DVR.
Oh, yeah. I also didn't mind. Commercials used to be like, that's when you get your snack.
That's true. Or go to the bathroom. Yeah.
Yeah. And there was like a race against the clock before it started again. But I love it so much.
I will watch it eventually because honestly, any TV show that gets you, of all people, to sit down and not be on your phone and pay complete attention is probably worth a watch.
Yes.
I watched this weekend Love and Death on HBO Max. And
isn't that the one that's like about the Candy Montgomery case?
Yeah. And I had watched the Candy one on Hulu with Jessica Biel.
In that fucking wig.
In that fucking wig. And that one was great. I thought that one was really good. And then, but this one like did it for me. I thought it was really good.
You were telling me about that. I want to watch that. And if you guys want to see the craziest fucking wig of your life, they did a Lifetime movie of the Gypsy Rose Blanchard.
They did.
Case. Have I shown you this wig before?
I don't know.
Oh.
You're the one who showed me the
documentary years ago.
in like your apartment here. Yeah.
Yes. Pre-Betty Bungalow.
Pre-Betty Bungalow, yeah.
Okay, wait. I'm going to Google Lifetime Gypsy Rose movie. You guys need to do this because I need you to see this wig.
Oh my God. Is that supposed to be the mom?
That's supposed to be the mom. It looks nothing.
Oh no. Honestly, some girls have that haircut though. I feel like that's kind of in.
Well, do you know that's Marcia Gay Harden?
Yeah. I feel like it's like a wolf cut.
Yeah. Yeah. A little bouncier though, kind of.
And I think the wolf cuts are cute, but that's not.
You know who I love though is Connie Britton, who stars in Nashville. She gives off mom energy. And I just think she's like so sweet.
Yeah.
I want her to tell me everything's okay.
I know.
I really like her. And it's also, I learned Nashville was created by Callie Corey, who is responsible for Thelma and Louise.
Oh.
And also George and Tammy, that little series, she is behind as well.
All right.
Love her.
I love that.
And there you go.
And there you go.
And to tie it into this, on Cult Leader, I recently did an episode on a case of two women that I was telling you about the other day, they were dubbed Thelma and Louise by the press. So there we go.
And we were saying that would be us.
Yeah.
I just have to say, I have you in my head sometimes saying, you would get sucked into a cult. You know how you feel that way about me?
Yeah, I'm familiar. I've told you that many a time.
Yes. So I was watching a TikTok and
Here we go.
this guy was going over this company called like Power Balance. And I don't know if you guys remember, but probably like around 2008 to 2012, there were these bracelets that were sold that had these like little metal things in them that were supposed to like cure whatever.
My sister and her husband, they're really good couple friend. The husband's family was big on selling those.
Okay, well, I was watching this TikTok and I was like, oh, I've totally met the owners and I was about to work for them. Yes, I was at the Grand Prix.
Wait, hold on. You need to describe what they are. They're these bracelets. And wouldn't they like help you balance too, literally?
Yeah.
I mean, not really, but that's what their claim.
Yeah. And this guy on TikTok was like debunking the whole thing and just talking about the history of the company. And yeah, there were these like using ions or some shit that I would fucking believe, like balance and make things better or whatever. So I was at the Grand Prix in probably like 2010.
Okay.
At the Grand Prix and then at the Long Beach Convention Center, they had this like thing you could walk around and it was
vendors and
whatever. And so I'm walking around and why do I get sucked into the Power Balance booth? And they offer me a job. I buy the bracelets. I fucking wear them. I just am sucked.
Were you so balanced?
I was so balanced. And then I had gotten a call from them and they were like trying to hire me, trying to set up stuff. And then that same night, I got a call, or maybe the next day, I get a call that one of my best friends died. And so her death saved me from working for Power Balance.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's a powerful story.
Isn't that crazy?
Well, your family is susceptible to MLMs because I'm sure we've mentioned this somewhere before, but your sister, when I first moved down...
Not my family, my one sister.
Your sister, when I first moved down here...
Honey, she was selling
signed
Miriam.
me up to an MLM. I had a lady in a fancy jacket show up at my place of employment at the time.
Oh my God. Did I ever tell you I had to go to like one of the meetings?
You were like, yeah, my sister's selling this stuff.
I went to one of the meetings with her. She was trying to get us all on board.
You tried to recruit me, actually.
I was young and susceptible to this kind of stuff. But I remember sitting in the meetings like, yeah, okay.
We all get tricked at some point. It's funny because even now, you know what? This is where I talked about that story. I did an interview with Emily Paulson and she wrote a book, an anti-MLM book. She was like a former like high top seller of some company. And I was telling her this story, but it's easy to get sucked in because especially back in the day in like 2012, 2013, and they were new, you had people like, oh yeah, I work for Roden and Fields. Yeah, my friend works for Roden and Fields.
Remember them?
She makes about 18 grand a month doing it.
Like, sign me the fuck up.
Yeah. But we're actually here to present you all with an amazing opportunity today. We would like you to
come to our live show.
Come to our live event where we're going to teach you how to sell yourself, baby.
Yes. And that will be held at the Dynasty Typewriter in Los Angeles, California, August 17th. Get your tickets at obituarypodcast.com.
Boom. There you go. We're going to show you how to make all your dreams come true and probably make $1 million a week.
Probably two, honestly.
Probably. We're going to teach you all the tips and tricks.
Maybe after taxes, it'll be $1 million.
Yes. All right, moving on to actual business. You got any emails for us, boss babe?
I do. And Spencer, I don't know if I was supposed to laugh at this email or not, but the visuals that it gave me had me cracking up. So it says, "Hey, Spencer and Madison and Hot Dog. Me and my coworker have a job that requires us to drive across the country, and we have been listening to Obituary and Cult Leader to make the drives easier." Oh.
Thank you.
Growing up, my parents told me a lot of stories about the crazy things they saw as a firefighter and ER nurse, now flight nurse.
I'm sure.
I know. And of course, they still tell me the craziest ones now that I'm an adult. A couple weeks ago, they told me about a call to a car pulled over on the highway with an unresponsive elderly woman. On the 911 call, the caller said that their family was on a road trip and had been in the car all day. They noticed later in the day that their grandma in the back seat wasn't waking up. They pulled over and got her out of the car, laid her on the ground, and started CPR. When the first responder arrived, they told them that they could stop CPR because she had been dead for a while. The grandma was laying on the ground with her legs up in the air, still in a sitting position.
What?
She had died earlier that morning and had been dead for most of the drive. I guess they thought she was sleeping and didn't want to get out every time they stopped for gas. So she was stiff.
Sitting on the side of the road in seated position on her back?
Yes.
Oh no.
Her legs got stuck like that.
Oh my.
So, I guess, rigor mortis or something?
Yeah, some mortis. Oh my God.
Why was I dying laughing picturing it? It's terrible.
Because it's life.
So sorry for the family's loss, and hopefully she's in a better place. Anyway, I have a lot more crazy stories about strange calls, such as people telling my dad they were about to die and then literally dying when they were in a stable condition.
Weird.
Wow. Thank you for making our drives more entertaining. Love y'all always, Ashlyn and Emma.
Oh my God. Well, you know what? Check on grandma in the back seat.
I know. It reminds me of, what is it? Vegas Vacation or National Lampoons.
National Lampoons.
Was it Vegas Vacation or was it? I think it was.
And also Weekend at Bernie's.
Yeah.
God. Oh.
Oh my God. Well, I feel like an asshole for laughing.
Well, perfect transition because we've got some assholes. Some more inheritance drama with this first asshole. Or non-asshole, I don't know. We'll be the judge.
Okay.
Am I the asshole for not wanting to give my wealthier sister the lion's share of the inheritance? Yesterday, my parents sat me, 31, my two brothers, 32 and 34, and my sister, 41, down to discuss their will. My parents informed us that they want to split it 5 ways. My sister gets 2/5, while the 3 of us brothers each get 1/5. Their reasoning is that my sister sacrificed her childhood for our family, so it's only fair she gets compensated. In our childhood, my father's business partner screwed him over, so there was a period where we were broke and in debt. My parents had to work multiple jobs to keep us afloat, and my sister babysat us while our parents worked. All she had to do was feed us and keep an eye on us. We were pretty calm kids, so all we did was play games and do our homework. It probably wasn't thrilling, but not exactly a tremendous hardship. I complained to my parents along with my brothers that it's insane they want to give my sister 2/5 of the inheritance over that, especially since she's financially best off out of all of us. She doesn't have any kids and a dual income with her partner. My parents said they're disappointed in us and said we need to reflect on ourselves. My sister didn't say shit when my parents spoke, but texted us afterwards that she had zero intention of taking 2/5, but we were all assholes. Am I the asshole for feeling like the split is unfair?
I understand where the parents are coming from. So I don't think he's an asshole, but I do understand the sacrifice that the older sister made. But I also think the parents are the asshole for putting them in that position. Like, I think you should kind of know that this will cause a divide. But I'm kind of like, yeah, the sister, did sacrifice a lot of her childhood for them. So it's a hard one.
So they were voted the asshole.
Okay.
And I think a lot of people were like, when your sister could have been being a teenager out with friends and enjoying that, she had to look over you guys. And people were saying, like, it's disrespectful to say all she did was feed us and whatever.
Yeah.
Like, she could have been out living her life.
Yeah.
And so I understand why the parents did it. I don't know if I would tell my children how their inheritance was being split.
feel like they would talk though and find out.
I mean, maybe afterwards, but then it's not my problem. But I feel like, I don't know, there's something kind of weird to me about telling them specifically, like, you'll get this, you'll get this, you'll get this. I don't know why you would need to have that conversation unless it was unless there was something specific happening.
I think it's good that they were transparent to avoid anything in the future like that. But I just haven't heard of a parent not wanting to divide it equally.
You know what? I'd be like, none of you are getting anything then.
You're all ungrateful.
How do you like that?
Yeah.
Actually, now she's getting 5/5.
Yeah. Exactly.
How's that?
That's a tough one though.
Yeah. This one is not related to our show at all, but I was laughing so hard when I read it that I needed to read it to you. It says, am I the asshole for telling my husband's mother she can't sing?
Oh, no.
I'm Lauren, 32. My fiance, who I will call Jim, 34, and I are getting married in 2 months. My husband comes from a family full of women, and they all want a part in my wedding. I don't see a problem with that because that's just less money to be spent, in my opinion. But last week, we were looking for a wedding singer, and his 3 sisters suggested I put up a post on Facebook to find a wedding singer. My mother-in-law jumped into the conversation and told me that she could sing. I have never heard her sing. His sisters told me to just let her do it because if I don't, I'll never hear the end of it. I ended up telling my husband, and he started hysterically laughing and told me that he has never heard her sing before. I ignored him and I texted my mother-in-law and asked her to send me a video of her singing Best Part by her. 10 minutes later, she sent me a video, and it was terrible. I told her that I would just hire a professional because she should have told me she was still learning how to sing.
Oh, and that song is so, like, soulful.
She got livid, and she told his whole family that I told her she was a horrible singer. She no longer wants to attend the wedding.
Oh, my God.
His sisters also don't want to attend because they feel like I disrespected her. My husband feels like I did nothing wrong, but I feel so bad that I hurt her feelings. Am I the asshole?
No, you're not the asshole.
But remember that when you marry them, you marry their family as well. And my God, that's going to be a wild ride.
Wow.
I mean, it's it's one thing because I just picturing some woman just earnestly like singing into her phone.
Well, that song is like, her has such a beautiful voice.
Uh-huh.
Like, you can't replicate that song. And a mother.
She tried it. She said, I'll sing at the wedding.
I would pay money to see the video.
I think let her sing. Let her make a fool out of herself.
No, not at the wedding.
Who cares?
That's too much.
Come on, let her do it.
No.
Yeah, I said let her do it.
What? I think the family are assholes, and thank God the husband is like, or the fiance is like, what?
Uh-huh.
Oh my God, I love that.
I love it. Well, you're up first this week.
I am, which means you should have a little side bitch.
I have a side bitch, and it is for none other than the recently deceased Jane Birkin.
Okay.
If you don't know, she is the woman behind the Birkin bag. Mm-hmm. This is from, I was looking at all the different obituaries, and I was like, I think I should pull the one from Vogue. It only feels fitting,
yeah.
Jane Birkin, musician, actor, and style icon, has died at 76. The news comes after Birkin was forced to cancel a handful of concerts in May due to health concerns, and less than 2 years after Birkin suffered a minor stroke. She is survived by 2 daughters. She was like a trend setter, but I had no idea that she was a singer.
I didn't know either.
It says Birkin's later body of work included politically charged songs. An enduring and undisputed fashion icon, Birkin's androgynous aesthetic first charmed from Chelsea to Cannes. There were gilt mini dresses, men's shirts, bell-bottoms, and braces. When I see photos of me in 1968 with my doll's eyes accentuated by eyeliner, the exaggerated mouth, and the fringe, I think they're horrible, she told Vogue France in 2018. My most interesting period was when I was 40. I started wearing singlets in Scottish cotton, men's shirts over trousers that were 3 times too big, paired with a thin red leather belt, and sneakers with no laces.
Cool girl.
I think we like the 60s.
I know.
We like those baby doll eyes. guys,
And
okay?
the fringe.
Her namesake Hermes bag, which came to be from a chance encounter in high flying circles, was released in 1984. I was on an airplane when a plastic bag holding all of my things broke and everything fell out. My date book, papers, and everything. Just as I was saying how I wished Hermes would make a bag that could fit all my things, the man sitting next to me happened to work for them. It was Jean-Louis Dumas, the head designer. They already had the Kelly bag named after Grace Kelly, so he began work on the Birkin bag. I went down to the atelier and he had made it in cardboard, and we talked about it, and I said they should make some changes, like making pockets bigger, and that's how it was made. In 2015, however, Birkin asked Hermes to remove her name from its handbag following a PETA investigation into the manufacturer's alleged treatment of crocodiles and alligators.
Wow.
Her personal taste was more primitive. Her favorite carry-all was a Portuguese wicker basket purchased for under $10 from a London market, in which she would swing her second daughter Charlotte into Parisian nightclubs. Love
Cool.
that. And then it has a brief obituary that says Jane Mallory Birkin was born on the 14th of December 1946 in London, England, to actress Mother Judy Campbell and Royal Navy Lieutenant Commander David Birkin. She attended private school in Kensington and later boarding school, which she hated, on the Isle of Wight. She had early ambitions of nursing or to open a clinic like Dr. Schweitzer. But fate stepped in and she first trod the boards in a Graham Greene play, carving a statue alongside the late Sir Ralph Richardson in 1964. She married James Bond composer John Barry, 13 years her senior, in 1965, calling him the man with an E-type jag and an E-type wife. His first daughter, Kate, who died in 2013, age 46, was born in 1967, but Barry left Birkin and they divorced the following year. In 1968, she traveled to France, taking a part in Pierre Grimlett's Slogan film, and fell in love with her co-star Gainsbourg. It was very reassuring after a disastrous marriage where they left you with your not even one-year-old child. At 19, I thought life had really ended. So when I went to France and met Serge, he made me feel wonderful, absolutely wonderful. He gave me confidence in myself. And I think I probably did the same for him because he had just gotten over a love affair with Brigitte Bardot.
Ooh.
So in fact, we were two rather miserable souls who picked each other up. The couple had a daughter, Charlotte, in 1971. Although they never married, they were together until Birkin left Gainsbourg in 1980. I escaped to get out of being just sort of a beautiful creature that he wanted me to be. I didn't want to be told what to do anymore or not allowed to touch anything in his sitting room. She had a third daughter, Lou, with French film director Jacques Doillon in 1982. She also starred in 2 of his films. Pondering death for Vogue France in 2018, she said, "Before, when I was asked how I wanted to die, I would answer, the first. Alas, life has decided otherwise. We are all a little scared of death when we feel it approaching. The idea is so distant, so abstract. We have trouble imagining it. Over the last 3 years, I have come close to it twice, and surprisingly, I didn't panic. I was more frightened of not having time to say what I wanted to say, to leave things in order, to be forgiven."
Wow. What an incredible woman.
Incredible. I feel like she was just kind of like an it girl throughout her entire life.
Like without trying.
But what's funny is that I don't know her for anything other than the Birkin bag.
Same.
Arguably, that's her biggest claim to fame.
I didn't know that she tried to have her name removed, though. I respect that.
I also didn't know she was an actress or a singer.
I thought she was just because I've heard the, story on the plane.
Story. Yeah. So who fucking knew?
Well, isn't it sad that we had to wait to read her obituary to figure that out?
It's like those episodes you did, the coffin spinners, of people who became famous after they died.
I know.
Well, we'll go on a quick break, and when we come back, I want to hear what had you spinning in your coffin.
Alrighty.
You'll be right back. We're going to use my computer because Madison's has porn viruses.
Yeah.
And we're back. What had you spinning in your coffin this week?
Well, when I wasn't on Chatterbait, I was researching. This coffin spinner is one of those that goes in a few different directions, so please buckle up. I started this coffin spinner originally writing about one woman's incredibly tragic and bizarre story and death, and I will get to that story, but some circumstances around her story were chalked up to mass hysteria, so I decided to look into mass hysteria.
Oh, we love mass hysteria here.
Mass hysteria came up in my research quite a bit, and I've always heard it used in sentences like over exaggerating a group of people's reaction, like, oh, it was mass hysteria,
Oh
you know?
my God, yes.
But I looked into some well-documented cases of it. So before I get to my main story, let's chat a little bit more about mass hysteria. And Spencer, you actually covered one instance of mass hysteria when you danced in your coffin in an earlier episode explaining the dancing plague of 1518.
Choreomania.
Yes. Geoffs, if you haven't, go listen to that episode because that is the most wild instance of mass hysteria there is. For a little refresher, according to Healthline.com, mass hysteria refers to an outbreak of unusual and uncharacteristic behaviors, thoughts, and feelings or health symptoms shared among a group of people. People affected by mass hysteria typically believe something specific has triggered their symptoms, don't have an underlying health condition that could prompt these symptoms, wouldn't behave in that way on a regular basis, and may share an extreme fear of an exaggerated or non-existent threat. The Salem witch trials, for instance, and all witch trials are a good example of mass hysteria. Spencer, on Cult Leader, again, you talked about satanic panic, which has instances of mass hysteria sprinkled in.
Oh, and QAnon. Hello, the recent mass hysteria.
Yes. So there are hundreds of instances that we'll probably have to dedicate a part two to, but I want to talk about a couple that I thought were kind of funny, but also just fucking wild. So the meowing nuns.
Oh, yeah. I have no idea. Okay.
This case was written about in the epidemics of the Middle Ages in 1844. So I guess there was a convent of nuns in France, and one of the nuns one day decided to start meowing. No rhyme or reason to it, just started meowing randomly.
A nun?
A nun.
Love it.
Well, the other nuns started joining in and they would all meow together. And this turned into all of these nuns in this convent meowing together at certain times of the day for hours a day.
Okay, it's hilarious, but also low-key terrifying to picture walking into a convent and there's all these nuns meowing.
Well, you have to also think this was in the Middle Ages. It was written about in 1844, but it was, I believe it happened in the 14th or 15th century. And so possession and like things like that were such a hot topic. Everybody was scared of that. So a lot of people thought maybe they were possessed. The whole neighborhood surrounding the convent could hear it all day and were super annoyed and freaked out. They asked the nuns to stop, but the nuns wouldn't. And so the police were called. The police brought in soldiers to threaten the nuns.
They had all of this back then?
Yes. Well, it's not 911, but some form of
authority.
Yes. They were told if they kept up the meowing, they would whip them with rods until they stopped. And this apparently ended the meowing for good.
Oh, God.
Okay. Speaking of nuns, we've got the biting nuns.
Oh, no.
Similarly, one nun in the 15th century in a convent in Germany had an impulse one day to bite a fellow nun. This was also documented in the epidemics of the Middle Ages, and according to the vintagenews.com, quote, over the course of the next several days, all nuns at the convent, along with an unknown number of women from the nearby villages, became infected with the biting frenzy. The condition spread all the way to the Netherlands, and the Catholic authorities of the time feared that the devil himself might have entered the human realm and started possessing people all over Europe. Fortunately, the biting epidemic apparently ended when the frenzied nuns became overly exhausted.
Again, hilarious, but also terrifying.
Terrifying. You know, I bit someone when I was little. I was a biter. I think we've talked about this before. I bit that girl's face.
Yeah. So last week we were in Lana In-N-Out and Madison just bit this girl's face.
No, I was at the bus stop at I was a baby. Or I was 4 maybe.
Honey, you were 14.
Honey, and I bit little old Allison's face.
Where is she now?
I went to her wedding. We're family friends.
Let's have her on the show.
I know. victim.
Yeah, let's do like a Hulu docu-series
Oh my
style.
God.
I'm going to sit her down in a room on a folding chair and say, tell us
Did
about
she
the
bite you?
incident.
I mean, I know biting is a sign of like
Something.
she's got problems.
You were also flipping off the devil and
Yep.
doing whatever, but
Very true.
listen,
Somebody's got to do it.
God's got a plan for all of
Okay.
us, okay?
All right.
He made us in his eye.
He made me in his mouth. Okay, now on to my main story.
The main event.
The main event, honey. Get your tickets. This story was deemed mass hysteria, but it is incredibly complicated and it is still debated about today. So we're going to talk about the story of Gloria Ramirez. On February 19th, 1994, a 31-year-old woman, Gloria Ramirez, arrived in an ambulance to the Riverside General Hospital in Riverside, California. Gloria was having a very hard time breathing and she was having heart palpitations and her blood pressure was dropping, so she called an ambulance. On the way to the hospital in the ambulance, she was given an IV and given oxygen. By the time she arrived to the hospital, she was slurring her words and almost incoherent. This is already a very scary situation for anyone, but probably even scarier for Gloria because at the time she was fighting late-stage cervical cancer.
Oh, no.
She was young and a mother and a wife and only discovered that she had cancer a few weeks prior. Once doctors and nurses got to her, they gave her different medications. I believe they were sedatives to hopefully combat whatever was going on with her, but the medications didn't help, and so they needed to pull out the defibrillator to shock her heart and get it out of cardiac arrest. When they removed all of the necessary clothing to start the defibrillator, they noticed that her body was covered in some sort of oil. It was like a shiny and glossy, not sweaty.
Feel like I've heard about this before.
Maybe you have. They also noticed an odor coming out of her mouth that was sort of garlicky and fruity or floral. It was so noticeable that it just overwhelmed the whole room. Like it wasn't like, oh, she has garlic breath. It was like an odor like permeating. While this was all happening, a nurse named Susan Kane begins drawing blood from Gloria. Susan noted that her blood smelled very much like ammonia. A medical student named Julia noticed that the blood had little particles floating around in it, almost as if there were like little tan crystals floating in her blood. Suddenly, Susan Kane, that first nurse, faints and is taken into a different room. Then Julie starts feeling nauseous and faints, then wakes up and starts having muscle spasm and has weird breathing. It was like an apnea. Like, so she would like breathe, stop, breathe. More hospital staff members were becoming sick and having muscle spasms and shortness of breath. Some people said that their face felt like it was burning. Others said that their legs and arms wouldn't work. A third person faints, a respiratory therapist named Maureen Welch. Then the hospital staff was scrambling by this point because they had to evacuate patients and make them all go outside into the parking lot where staff continued helping them out there. But they were like, is this a gas leak? Is this a toxic, like biological thing that's happening in the air? Like we need to get everybody out.
Yeah.
But they did feel like this is probably coming from Gloria's body, but they weren't sure. So a team stayed behind and tried to save Gloria's life, but they had to wear hazmat suits and they performed CPR and did more defibrillation. But unfortunately, Gloria didn't make it and was pronounced dead 45 minutes after arriving to the hospital. Then they sealed off her body and placed her in an aluminum casket, sealed that, and then put her in the morgue. A hazmat team came in and tried to figure out what substance was maybe in the hospital that was causing the staff to feel so ill, but they could not find anything. 5 hospital workers were hospitalized. One spent 10 days in the ICU, another spent 2 weeks in the ICU. A total of 23 members of the hospital staff reported feeling ill.
Whoa.
And they all had the same symptoms. Gloria underwent her first autopsy about a week later, and the pathologist conducting the autopsy had to be in a full hazmat gear just in case this could be true, that something toxic was happening with her body. They found nothing out of the ordinary. They found codeine, lidocaine, Tylenol, and anti-nausea medication in her body. The way this particular anti-nausea medication breaks down in the body could be the reason why her blood smelled like ammonia, but all of these medications are consistent with a person undergoing treatment for late-stage cancer. They concluded that she died from dysrhythmia that was triggered by kidney failure caused by her cervical cancer. So nothing out of the ordinary.
How bizarre.
I know. 6 weeks after Gloria's death, she underwent another, more thorough autopsy where different samples were collected. During this time, the Riverside County Health Department came in and investigated this case because the hospital staff was still very much adamant, like,
No, something's
wrong with that, like something's coming from that woman.
right.
You know? They appointed Kirsten Waller and Maria Osario, both scientists, to this case. They conducted interviews of the hospital staff using a standardized questionnaire, with another autopsy not finding anything that compelling, plus finding that most of the people were women who hadn't eaten dinner or a substantial dinner that night. They concluded that this was actually just a case of mass hysteria. They basically thought that the staff just imagined their illness.
No way.
Yes. The staff was so upset, and I believe there were some lawsuits involved or threatening lawsuits. The hospital turned to the Lawrence Livermore National Laboratories for help. This laboratory was responsible for making nuclear weapons, but in later years had a forensic science center. They used the samples that were taken from Gloria's autopsies and did a full panel run through of any possible substance in her body.
They were testing like stomach contents and blood.
Right, like the normal things, couldn't find anything. These guys tested everything. They came back finding dimethyl sulfone, or DMSO2, in her body. And this wasn't super alarming because DMSO2 can occur in your body naturally and in certain foods. But there was so much in Gloria's system, not enough to kill her, but enough that it was still found in her body over 6 weeks after she died, when its half-life is max 3 days.
Whoa. So she had a lot. Was it because of a diet or what?
We'll get to it. There's an All That's Interesting article that explains, quote, medical staff at the hospital urged the coroner's office to take a closer look at the file. The assistant deputy director, Pat Grant, made a startling conclusion. Ramirez covered her skin from head to toe in DMSO as a possible way to cure her late-stage cervical cancer.
What is this? Like a drugstore product you can use or?
Medical science labeled DMSO a toxic substance in 1965. The reasons for Ramirez's use of a toxic substance on her skin goes back to when DMSO was all the rage as a cure-all. Research in the early 1960s led doctors to believe that DMSO could relieve pain and reduce anxiety. Athletes would even rub DMSO cream on their skin to try to relieve aches and muscles. Then a study in mice showed DMSO could ruin your eyesight. The fad of DMSO stopped for the most part. DMSO gained an underground following as a cure-all for many types of ailments.
Oh, so that was some weird shit, like, during COVID when people were taking horse medicine and shit. It's like,
yes.
Whoa.
By the late 1970s, the only way to get this substance was as a degreaser in hardware stores. The DMSO found in degreasers was 99% pure as opposed to a less concentrated form that was in muscle creams in the 1960s. Grant looked up what happens to DMSO because remember they found DMSO2 in her body? But this was DMSO. But he found that when you expose DMSO to oxygen, and she was given oxygen in the ambulance.
Does it like crystallize?
It does, and the substance converts to dimethyl sulfate because it adds oxygen to its chemical structure. Dimethyl sulfate acts much differently than dimethyl sulfone. As a gas, dimethyl sulfate vapors destroy cells in people's eyes, lungs, and mouth health. When this vapor gets into the body, it can cause convulsions, delirium, and paralysis. Of the 20 symptoms described by medical staff that night, 19 of them match symptoms of people who have exposure to dimethyl sulfate vapors.
No shit.
The medical staff didn't suffer from mass hysteria or stress. They suffered from dimethyl sulfate poisoning.
Whoa.
I also read that the electric shocks from the defibrillator could also possibly convert the DMSO into a DMSO4, which is also super toxic.
God, it's like, you know what it reminded me of? Sorry to cut you off, but when I was thinking like this sounds familiar, it kind of reminded me of like when people would go to the hospital for poisoning and they would smell like a really almond scent, but it would turn out that it was cyanide poisoning. That's what it reminds me of.
Yes. That's crazy. This like cyanide's just naturally occurring.
Like when you were talking about like they smelled like an odor, I was expecting you to say almond, but then when you said garlic, I said, wow, I'm thrown for a loop.
Oh, wrong one.
I was getting all hysterical over the wrong thing.
This DMSO theory is just a theory. Obviously, probably the most reputable theory that we have, but it has been debated intensely. The incident is still labeled a mass hysteria incident, and her death is still ruled kidney failure. There are other theories that I was like, I can't even dive into this because there's fucking alien abduction theories, suicide theories, just wild.
Whoa.
Later, when Gloria's body was released to her family, they conducted their own autopsy to find a cause of death.
At home.
Yeah, honey. But she was incredibly decomposed and her heart was missing.
Wait.
Yeah, I assume that that's maybe from some of the samples that were taken. And
The whole heart seems bizarre.
I know, that does seem pretty bizarre. And her insides, a lot of her organs were like cross-contaminated with fecal matter. And so it's just
a mess.
But her family vehemently denies her ever using the DMSO creams.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. I think this story is so sad, and I absolutely don't believe it was mass hysteria. Like, I believe, like, these people passed out. The people that were closest to her working on her, like,
something's up there.
Yeah.
And it's probably aliens, if we're being honest.
But you know what? It makes you think maybe the meowing and biting nuns weren't either.
It was all because of degreaser.
Maybe.
You know, that's a fucking crazy story. I was just thinking, though, you know who always does mass hysteria? Dogs. One of them barks at nothing. All of them start barking at nothing.
Yep. That's true.
So let's explore that. How about
that? Or they're like gaslighting everybody.
Yeah. Oh, hot dog. Sometimes, I'm sure she hears something, but sometimes like we'll be laying in bed at night and she'll bark or something. Like she'll do like a quick bark and I will be like, hot dog, you're scaring me.
Yeah, I know. I will go because my dogs will stand and bark and look out this certain window. Mm-hmm. And sometimes I'll do it at night and I'm afraid to go look out the window because I'm like, is there going to be someone standing there?
Oh, if hot dog does it at night, I'll take her outside and be like, look. Mm-hmm. Look at there's nothing there. I always show her like there's nothing. But mass hysteria and dogs.
Yep.
Huge problem no one's addressing.
Oh, that's true.
But we will be the first.
All right. Well, let's take a break and go talk about it.
Let's go bite each other and meow. Okay, we'll be right back.
And we're back. Spencer, what had you smelling in your coffin this week?
That is very rude. That is crude, and I want an apology.
I apologize. What had you spinning in your coffin?
Thank you, Madison, for correcting yourself. As it goes, I was researching something entirely different this week. Mm-hmm. I think actually for cult leader. And then I ended up learning about something referred to as the voluntary human extinction movement. And I said,
what?
Well, tell me more. I need to know about this. I went down the rabbit hole and it's a real organization. And I went onto their website, first of all, because I'm like, you got to go straight to the source. According to their website, vhemt.org, they say that VHEMT, pronounced vehement, so that's the name of the organization, is a movement, not an organization. I just called it an organization.
Okay. They said Fuck you.
Yeah, so let me correct myself. First of all, I stand corrected. I promise I researched this. So anyways, this is a movement advanced by people who care about life on planet Earth, they say. We're not just a bunch of misanthropes and antisocial Malthusian misfits taking morbid delight whenever disaster strikes humans. Nothing could be further from the truth. Voluntary human extinction is the humanitarian alternative to human disasters. We don't carry on about how the human race has shown itself to be a greedy, amoral parasite on the once healthy face of this planet. That type of negativity offers no solution to the inexorable horrors which human activity is causing. Rather, the movement presents an encouraging alternative to the callous exploitation and wholesale destruction of Earth's ecology. As vehement volunteers know, the hopeful alternative to the extinction of millions of species of plants and animals is the voluntary extinction of one species, Homo sapiens, us. Each time another one of us decides to not add another one of us to the burgeoning billions already squatting on this ravaged planet, another ray of hope shines through the gloom. When every human chooses to stop breeding, Earth's biosphere will be allowed to return to its former glory, and all remaining creatures will be free to live, die, and evolve, if they believe in evolution, and will perhaps pass away, as so many of nature's experiments have done throughout the eons. It's going to take all of us going. Many see humor in the movement and think we can't be serious about voluntary human extinction, but in spite of the seriousness of both situation and movement, there's room for humor. In fact, without humor, Earth's condition gets unbearably depressing. A little levity eases the gravity. True, wildlife rapidly going extinct and tens of thousands of children dying each day are not laughing matters, but neither laughing nor bemoaning will change what's happening. We may as well have some fun as we work and play towards a better world. Besides, returning Earth to its natural splendor and ending needless suffering of humanity are happy thoughts. No sense moping around in gloom and doom. So basically, the movement is saying that we should just stop producing children and that we should all just kind of collectively decide to die off and be the last people.
Wow.
It's kind of interesting. It's an interesting thought.
When I heard extinction, I'm like, is this a mass suicide kind of thing?
And we'll get to it. First of all, I wanted to talk about how this all came to be. And for that, I had to track down who the founder is because I wanted to get to know the person behind the movement. And I ended up finding an article from the New York Times all about Les Knight, who's the man who created this. They did an article that said, Earth now has 8 billion humans. This man wishes there were none. It's just funny. For the sake of the planet, Les Knight, the founder of the voluntary human extinction movement, has spent decades pushing one message: may we live long and die out. For someone who wants his own species to go extinct, Les Knight is a remarkably happy-go-lucky human. He has regularly hosted meteor shower parties with rooftop fireworks. He organized a long-running game of nude croquet in his backyard.
Les, fireworks are not good for the environment.
Even Tucker Carlson proved no match for Mr. Knight. During a 2005 interview with Mr. Knight on MSNBC, Mr. Carlson criticized him for espousing the sickest of beliefs, but then added, "You are one of the cheeriest guests we've ever had." Mr. Knight, 75, is the founder of Vehement, which is less a movement than a loose consortium of people who believe that the best thing humans can do to help the Earth is to stop having children. Mr. Knight added the word voluntary decades ago to make it clear that adherents do not support mass murder or forced birth control, nor do they encourage suicide. Their ethos is echoed in their motto, may we live long and die out. And in another one of their slogans, which Mr. Knight hangs at various conventions and street fairs, it says, thank you for not breeding. On November 15th, the Earth became home to a record 8 billion human beings. Despite declining birth rates, the number is forecast to peak at 10.4 billion in the coming decades, in large part because of increases in life expectancy and decreases in child mortality. Mr. Knight is among those who believe that overpopulation is a main factor in the climate crisis, but that idea can be fraught. Poor countries that are heavily populated, such as India, contribute relatively little per capita to the greenhouse gas emissions that are heating the planet. Wealthy countries with relatively smaller populations, like the United States, are generating most of the pollution that is driving global warming. The problem that is spiraling out of control is consumption, said John Wilmoth, director of the United Nations Population Division, who says that focusing on population limitation as a potential climate fix diverts attention from the urgent need for everyone to ditch fossil fuels and more efficiently use resources. We have to transform the economic incentives that make it possible to profit off of polluting the environment. The idea that population must be controlled has also led to forced sterilizations and measures that have proven inhumane or have been linked to racist theories like eugenics. And this is something that they also address on the Vehement website, though, because there was like, and I saw this when I was in the beginning, I was like, I have to find this quote. It said, didn't Hitler have the same ideas? And they said on the website, well, if you mean the medals for motherhood and warehouse nurseries full of babies for war and industry, or if you mean outlawing abortion or forced sterilization of undesirables or mass murder, then the answer is simply no. He also wasn't a vegetarian, as propaganda said.
Okay.
Theirs isn't, again, so much, it's nothing violent. It sounds like the name is what drew me in, because I'm like, voluntary human extinction. Like, what are you talking about?
Which is probably why that's the name.
Yeah. To get people to talk, sure.
Right.
But then I'm like, oh, I get what you're trying to do here.
Yeah.
But it also goes to show, because I feel like this narrative is pushed by certain news groups that like people aren't having kids and our generation isn't having kids. It's like, well, actually our population's higher than it's ever been before. And they're estimating that it's going to get even higher. There's going to be even
2
more
more
people.
billion.
Oh my God. You think we need 2 more billion people on the planet? My God.
No, we don't. I understand the baseline of if consumption's the problem, less people being born means less consumption.
It's interesting. You know what's weird to think about? I wonder what would happen if everyone for 1 year, everyone in the world for 1 year didn't have a kid. I wonder how that would affect, like what effect that would have on future generations.
I think it'd be made up for.
I don't know. I think it would have a greater effect than we could even picture. They should do like a movie, like a doomsday type movie, where everyone is barred from having children for a year, and talk about like what
happened. Well, you know, like when COVID was like really, we were locked down.
Oh,
right?
everyone was just fucking.
Well, that, but our pollution was so much better because people weren't driving as much.
Right.
And now by us, they're trying to implement that on the 405, which in Los Angeles is like one of the main freeways and it goes all the way north and south. They are trying to implement like a thing where you have to pay to drive on it. And I wonder how that will affect pollution.
Oh, interesting. And also just how it would affect people who genuinely have to drive the 405 to get to work.
Yeah.
And what that would do to the other roadways that aren't charging.
Right.
Because you either take the 405 or you take the streets.
I'd fucking pay to not have to be in traffic.
Well, congratulations, you work from home.
I know.
But I don't know. I got really interested in this idea because I'm like, I like people like him because I like people that, well, I don't know a lot about his personal life or ethics or anything, but people that create movements like this, because I'm like, you're thinking outside of the box. Like, it's interesting. I think I should say it's a very interesting concept to me. Like, people like this are really interesting. They talk on the website about like what happens if we fail to voluntarily phase ourselves out. And he said, we can't predict the future, but if we keep going where we're going, we'll probably get there. If we fail to voluntarily phase ourselves out, 2 collapses are likely: global civilization and Earth's biosphere. Our global economic system will still collapse, as all pyramid schemes do, but that's just money, an abstract concept. Unlike money, we need the biosphere and, to a lesser extent, civilization to survive. Our failure to prevent civilization's collapse would naturally lead to a population bottleneck, a die-off. Although what's left of the biosphere could then recover, the magnitude of human suffering and misery would exceed the worst end-of-the-world dystopia movie ever made. It would certainly be worse than everyone foregoing the experience of co-creating a new person. Civilization's collapse might delay the collapse of the biosphere, or it could make it worse. Containment of radiation and other toxic waste depends on sustaining civilization's technologies. Our failure to voluntarily go extinct would allow the largest extinction event in 65 million years to play out. If we disappear before the biosphere collapses, cascading extinctions would continue until a relative equilibrium reestablished itself.
So when is the biosphere supposed to collapse? I gotta get ready.
That they don't know. But based on previous mass extinctions, if we did this, biodiversity would recover in about 10 million years.
Oh, wonderful.
So you just gotta wait it out a little bit.
Oh, please. Imagine being the last person on Earth, or like the last few hundred people.
Oh, it'd be wild.
I would fuck. And I would keep it going, probably.
Now, going back to that article, it is rare for anyone who publicly goes as far as Mr. Knight, who never had children and got a vasectomy in 1973 at the age of 25. So he's like a lifer in this. Beyond advocating for universal access to birth control and opposing what he calls reproductive fascism or the lack of freedom to not procreate, Mr. Knight says that despite our many achievements, humans are a net detriment to the earth. Look at what we did to this planet. We're not a good species. A high school substitute teacher for most of his working life, Mr. Knight is fondly regarded by students. He spends hours each Sunday morning picking up litter from the nearby main road, and during an interview, he paused to appreciate 2 juicy garden spiders taking in the sun on webs spun between the hedges and lawn chairs. The sight was a cause for celebration, Mr. Knight said, after so many critters were killed during last year's heat dome in the Pacific Northwest. A self-professed serial monogamist, he lives alone, but his girlfriend lives next door and is fully on board with his cause.
Okay, I love a long relationship not living together. Like Frida and Diego Rivera had their house, but they had that like
the blue
like
house or Casa Azul.
Yeah, but they had like a connecting bridge.
Goals.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a giant ego that he struts around with either. He doesn't try to argue with people, said Marv Ross, Mr. Knight's former college roommate and a longtime friend. He was always about humor to make it as fun as possible to get his message across, and I saw him do it many times. He'd deflect people getting upset with a joke or a smile. As a child growing up in a tolerant family in Oregon, Mr. Knight watched timber companies chop down the state's forests. After being drafted in the Army during Vietnam War, he served but never got deployed. He attended Oregon College of Education and joined the local chapter of Zero Population Growth, which cemented his resolve not to have children. It was always because of the damage that humans do to the environment, he said. We came to be and then ran amok, Mr. Knight said, and because we're smart enough, we should know enough to end it.
I think there's got to be, okay.
I feel like, first of all, I gotta say, I feel like he's probably really good at breaking up with people.
He seems like a sweet guy, and I understand. I get it. I think that would probably be the best case scenario, but I also think that people should have kids if they want to have kids.
Of course. I also think birth control needs to be widely accessible. I mean, it should never be a challenge for anyone. We have way too many people on the planet. I agree with that. I think we have too many people.
Oh, I do too. And I think that, I don't know, but could there be an incentive given to people to not procreate? Like a financial incentive? Like,
yeah, how about
you get
not having
tax-
kids who drain you of your fucking money?
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. I think more and more, at least in our social groups, I think we know more and more people who are actively deciding like, yeah, I don't want to have kids. And I think that that should also be a more normalized option.
Yes, especially with women. Like, I know even for me, I don't have kids, and my husband and I both talk about it. Like, at first, we really wanted them in our 20s, you know? And then we kind of have talked about like we really like our life with dogs and we'd like to incorporate other animals, and that might just be it for us. But as a woman, there's a lot of pressure.
Oh, yeah.
To procreate. It's hard. Like, my biological clock is ticking. Like, you feel that as a woman.
I've known you for a decent amount of time. I met you when you were still in your early 20s.
50s.
A long time ago. No, but I did. And you were always somebody that I'm like, oh, she'll have kids. But it's also so crazy because life takes you in so many different directions. We talk about it all the time. Like, we never thought we'd be working together doing what we do now. And it's like,
it's a dream come true, but it was never our plan.
No. And so I think you kind of have to just coast with it sometimes and know, like, you don't have to do it if you don't want to do it.
No.
Like, there's nothing weird about that. And there's also a lot more people out there who have had children that I'm like, you should not have done that.
Yeah. It's a hard thing, and it's touchy because...
Oh, people have strong opinions when it comes to this.
Yes. And I love kids. I think they're great. I think have them if you want to have them. But I understand this guy's organization.
Oh, yeah. So we've joined.
Yeah.
But we actually also believe in violence. So.
Yes.
No. What's that divine quote? Like, kill everyone.
Yes. Divine.
Oh, God. Well, if we didn't procreate, we wouldn't have anyone to write obituaries about.
Oh.
Or write our obituary. Who's going to write our obituaries?
Oh, my God. Not our children.
Oh, no. Who do you have this week?
Okay, I am very excited about this person. His name is John Hufftailing, and he is an inventor whose best known product shook post-war America, or at least those Americans who stayed overnight in mid-price motels, died on Wednesday at his home in Fort Pierce, Florida. And this is from the New York Times. John, the inventor of the Magic Fingers vibrating bed, was 92.
Excuse me.
The cause was complications of a recent fall, his son Paul said. Developed in 1958, Magic Fingers was a ubiquitous presence in the roadside America of the 1960s and 70s. Installed on millions of beds in hotels and motels across the country, it featured a mechanical vibrator attached to the box spring and a coin meter attached to the vibrator. Have you seen these?
I'm looking it up right now. Yes. Oh my God. They used to have these, I feel like, in shitty hotel rooms.
Yes, like in motels.
Yes.
And you would put a coin in it and it would shake the whole bed.
Oh my God.
He is the inventor of it. It says activated, Magic Fingers quickly carries you into the land of tingling, relaxation, and ease, as a label on the device proclaimed. Operation was simple. The weary traveler dropped a quarter into the meter and the mattress surged to life. 15 minutes later, when the shaking stopped, the user could either drop off to sleep or pay for another tremulous round. While the vibrators offer a pleasing sensation similar to weightlessness, no special medical or therapeutic value is claimed, the New York Times reported in 1963. It is said, though, that they are of aid in getting to sleep. Combining the thrill of a carnival ride with the pleasure of what could be accomplished, sleeping or waking, on a motel bed. Magic Fingers has insinuated itself into the consciousness of a great many Americans over 40. It is cropped up in a spate of movies, television, shows, and popular songs, including The Hotel Room by Steve Goodman, in which Jimmy Buffett sang, "Put in a quarter, turn out the light, Magic Fingers makes you feel all right."
Oh, yeah.
John was born on November 14th, 1916 in Kansas City. The family name is pronounced Hufftailing. After high school, he held a series of jobs, among them hotel bellman, cookware salesman, and a salesman of a remote control lawnmower. Ooh. The earliest vibrating beds predated the Industrial Revolution and were powered by household servants. Then came steam power, and after that, electricity. Mr. Hufttailing's great innovation was to separate the motor from the bed. In the late 1950s, Mr. Hufftailing was working as a salesman for a vibrating bed company. Its product, which combined motor and mattress in one integrated unit, was expensive and unwieldy. What was more, as he said in interviews afterward, it broke down frequently. Tinkering in the basement of his home in Glen Rock, New Jersey, Mr. Hufftailing tested 300 motors before hitting on one that was light, unobtrusive, and made the bed tingle at just the right frequency. At the company's height in the mid to late 1970s, Paul Hufftailing said more than 1 million Magic Fingers devices were in use in hotels, motels, and private homes in the United States and Europe. Mr. Hufttailing's first marriage to Ruth Donovan ended in divorce. His second wife, Rita Breyer, died before him. He is survived by 4 sons, John, Mark, Paul, and Chris, and a daughter, Allison Lincoln, all from his first marriage, and 4 grandchildren. Most of Mr. Hufttailing's children have magic fingers in their homes, Paul Hufftailing said in an interview on Friday.
I want one to rock me to sleep.
I do too. By the early 1980s, Magic Fingers had begun to fall out of favor with hotel owners. By the standards of late 20th century in-room entertainment, the device seemed quaint. There was also the matter of guests breaking into the coin meters and stealing the quarters, something they did often. Mr. Hufftailing retired in the 1980s after selling the rights to the Magic Fingers name. Today, the device is marketed by its current owners for home use, so you could. The Magic Fingers vibrating bed can still be found in a handful of steadfast motels, mostly in the American West. There, the faithful check in and take to their beds, rolls of quarters in hand.
I'm like, I love noise and movement. I feel like I would love this.
I feel like it's such a kitschy 1960s invention that I just died for it.
How cool. I'm going to buy one. Imagine. Don't you feel like you would feel so relaxed if your bed was just like...
Yes. All right. Who do you got?
None other than Miss Tammy Wynette.
Oh, we're on a Tammy and George kick.
We're on a Tammy kick, who was once dubbed by a French critic an American Edith Piaf. The blonde-haired country singer enjoyed a semi-notorious personal life, which often appeared to merge with her professional singing career. She was married 5 times and kidnapped in 1978.
What?
Uh-huh. We'll get into it. Okay, so this obituary is a little wordy, but I promise you it's a wild ride. Best known for her song Stand By Your Man, she unwittingly found herself part of the 1992 U.S. presidential campaign after Hillary Clinton stressed that her support for her husband was more substantial than that expressed in the lyrics of Wynette's song. She told an interviewer, this was after the affair, "I'm not sitting here like some little woman standing by my man like Tammy Wynette." The remark outraged country music fans, and Hillary Clinton ended up apologizing, and Wynette later appeared at a Clinton fundraising event.
Okay.
Described as the fabric of legends but cut from a soft cloth, she was regarded as one of the most successful female vocalists in the history of country music. Her record sales made her the first female artist in country music to sell 1 million albums. She had a career total of over 30 million records, 35 #1 singles, 11 #1 albums, and over $100 million in sales. She was a fucking hit. She was born Virginia Wynette Pugh in 1942 near Tupelo, Mississippi. Her father, William Hollis Pugh, was a musician, he played guitar in particular, who died when she was just 8 months old. Sudden widowhood forced her mother to work in an aircraft factory in Birmingham, Alabama. She was brought up by her grandparents on their farm. As a child, she sang in her local church whilst helping out with the farm duties, chopping and picking cotton with the other agricultural workers. She was paid the standard rate of pay by her grandfather, which instilled in her a sense of independence from an early age. And I've actually seen interviews of her before talking about that time. She's like, I was brought out to the cotton farms when I was 3 weeks old.
Wow.
She's like, and I started when I was 3 years old.
Okay.
Working on the farm. Her mother returned to the farm when the Second World War ended. The young Tammy had started to sing alongside her grandmother in church. They sang a particular type of religious music, a harmony called sacred harp, which is a technique that involved singing notes instead of words. As Tammy acquired a taste and clearly showed an aptitude for music, her mother allowed her to experiment with her late father's collection of musical instruments, which is like kind of cool because he died when she was only 8 months old. Despite a strong conviction that a musical career was what she wanted, Tammy married before finishing high school and moved to Tupelo with her husband, Upal Bird. She gave birth to a baby daughter, and shortly afterwards, she learned hairdressing and worked as a beautician. A stint as a receptionist for a chiropractor followed. She was to have 2 further children with Bird, but before she gave birth to her third, another daughter, the marriage broke up. The child was premature and developed spinal meningitis. During the period of her daughter's illness, Tammy nursed her back to health, but she ran up large debts because of being unable to work. It was the need to raise extra money which prompted her to return to her interest in becoming a professional singer. She sang in a number of different southern nightclubs and was fortunate to be hired by WBRC-TV in Birmingham on the Country Boy Eddie show. She began to establish a small following and co-wrote songs with Fred Leonard for one of the local Birmingham radio stations. She won several appearances on one of Porter Wagner's syndicated television shows, and this gave her the necessary confidence to audition for recording companies. In Nashville, Tennessee, she auditioned for United Artists and Hickory and Cap, expecting to be offered a contract, but after several months, nobody had contacted her. In 1966, she returned to Nashville, where she met the Epic Records producer Billy Sherrill, who signed her immediately. A few days after, he had her recording Apartment Number 9, a song he had been having trouble leasing. The record became one of the top hits of 1967, and this was followed up with Your Good Girl's Gonna Be Bad, I Don't Want to Play House, and DIBORC and Elusive Dream, which she sang with David Houston. Her success was almost overnight, and within 3 years, she had won a Grammy Award, and she was twice named CMA Female Vocalist of the Year. Most of her songs were specifically written for her by Billy Sherrill with Glenn Sutton, but later she teamed up with Sherrill as a co-writer, and together they wrote the biggest selling country music song ever, Stand By Your Man. The singer Patti Smith once said Wynette's voice came from an emotionally honest place that everyone can relate to. She was often touted as a singer who spoke directly to and on behalf of women. However, not all women were prepared to accept the claim that she addressed the trials of womanhood. Some feminist observers have maintained that the sympathies of several of her songs were regressive. I feel like she was kind of like a Lana Del Rey in a sense when it came to her music being judged. But also, I think people knew about her tumultuous relationship. If you didn't know, she was married to a man named George Jones. They got married in 1968 and they stayed married till 1975. But they had like a really public relationship and he was super abusive towards her. Their relationship was a much publicized emotional roller coaster ride, according to this obituary. Their life and performance blurred into one when Jones joined Wynette on the Epic label. Their duet, We're Gonna Hold On, gave him his first #1 hit since 1967. During the 80s, Tammy Wynette appeared in the television soap opera Washington, but she did not take this career direction any further. Although her 1979 autobiography, Stand By Your Man, was filmed in 1982. She gave performances for 3 U.S. presidents, and on June 10th of 1991, she was given the sought-after Living Legend Award from Music City News. Towards the end of her career, she recorded duets with many acclaimed vocalists such as Emmylou Harris, Ricky Van Shelton, and Vern Gosdin. In 1978, Wynette was mysteriously abducted at a shopping center in Nashville, driven 80 miles in her car, beaten, and released by a masked assailant.
What?
No one was ever arrested for the crime, and in 1988, she petitioned for bankruptcy following the failure of 2 shopping centers in Florida in which she had invested. Kind of a wild end.
It was real?
Well, her daughters later came out and said that they think she faked it because she was in an abusive relationship at the time, and they thought she was trying to cover up for the fact that she was bruised by saying that she had been taken hostage. In recent years, she suffered from ill health, but still pursued recording and a touring schedule. She recorded the album Honky Tonk Angels with her fellow country singers Dolly Parton and Loretta Lynn in 1993, and she toured with U.S. vocalist Kenny Rogers in England last year when she claimed her health had been improving. Wynette was still, for many, the undisputed first lady of country music.
Wow.
She has a really interesting life. I was just watching like this past week a ton of interviews of her. She passed away in 1998. That's when that obituary came out. But the kidnapping and the investing in malls, I'm like, I don't know.
Something. Who knows?
Who knows? So bizarre. A lot of mystery, that one.
A lot of mystery.
And she was kind of a wild card, I think.
We got to watch that show.
Honky Tonk Angel, baby. I love it. Well, we've spun in our coffins.
Oh my God, we have bitched our obituaries.
I guess that means it's time for some dumb
Ass
criminals.
Okay, so I have an article from Inside Edition with a picture that goes with it. You guys have to go to our Instagram. I will post this picture because it just is incredible. But it says an Arizona man got caught with his pants down after allegedly trying to burglarize a local school.
A school?
A locksmith was working inside the Miles Exploratory Learning Center in Tucson when he spotted a man trying to get into some rooms, the school district said in a statement. After spotting the locksmith, the suspect reportedly ran and tried to hop the school's spiked fence. He failed. Bystander Jesse Sanzabar captured a photo of the alleged crook hanging upside down with his pants down and underwear showing after his clothing had apparently gotten stuck on the fence.
Let me see the picture, please.
Hold on. One more reason not to jump fences in baggy pants. I saw this homie hanging around at the Miles School this morning when I was rolling eastbound on Broadway Avenue. I was going to help him off the fence, but by the time I got back around the block, the cops were rolling up 2 cars deep. Now look at this photo.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Caught with your pants down.
Oh, my God. Out of school, too. You probably get another charge for
I
that.
know.
Well, I also have a really good mugshot we should post this week, too.
Okay.
Here's this gal.
Okay, looking good.
Happy. This story comes from Monroe County, Florida. A Monroe County deputy said they saw Crystal Berglund, 32, driving her black northbound Jeep on the 7 Mile Bridge around 5:20 p.m. on Friday after receiving a be on the lookout alert for a reckless car.
Okay.
The deputy tried to conduct a traffic stop, but the Oregon woman kept driving and was seen swerving into oncoming traffic. traffic. Multiple cars had to take evasive action to avoid crashing, according to the deputies. Berglund eventually stopped the car near the Welcome to the Marathon sign after getting off the bridge, where her breath apparently smelled of alcohol. She told the deputy she had just gotten into an argument with her boyfriend and that he hit her and jumped out of the Jeep. She also said she wasn't aware. Okay, I have to tell you. So there was no tire on this car.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
She was riding hubcaps. And
No, none at all?
I think there was just like, I don't know if it was all of them or just one, but either way, she was fucking just going and she would not pull over. And when I started laughing to myself, picturing her just driving and it's like sparking. Yeah.
flying.
And she also said, I had no idea that there was no tire on my car. I was like, how'd you not know, girl?
Oh, my God. Well, I didn't know once.
I feel like you had a lot of car things. Remember someone wrote like bitch on your car or something out at work?
They wrote, learn how to fucking park in Sharpie. But I was driving one night and I saw a tire fly by on the freeway. And I was like, oh, fuck, somebody lost their tire. And then my car started going, boom, 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 boom. And I was like, oh, no, that's my tire. It shredded off.
God bless it. God bless America. And
God bless America.
you know what, Geops, if there's any lessons to take away from today, it's don't rub your body with degreaser.
Don't look at websites that you're not supposed to.
If you want to reproduce. Why not? We're not judging, but if you don't, that's okay too.
That's it for this week.
We'll see you next week with some more coffin spinners
Obituaries.
and dumb
Ass
criminals. Oh, and go to obituarypodcast.com for any and all extracurriculars. Goodbye.
Goodbye.